I got lock on lock stuck in my brain so bad. Hey, hey.
Well, hi, everybody.
Hi, hi, hi.
Hey,
Hi,
hey.
hi, hi.
Sunday.
Sunday fun day.
Comments up.
Oh,
Sunday fun day. Eating candy.
Drinking whiskey.
You do what you got to do.
Why not both? Why not both? Hard shell,
Candy and
soft shell.
whiskey
Why
go
not both?
surprisingly well together. You didn't know.
Candy and whiskey. Does anybody remember? Okay, these are the desperate days of being in college. Is you'd take a really cheap vodka and you'd load it with a whole bunch of hard candies like Jolly Ranchers to flavor it. Did people do that? Okay, cool.
That was
wasn't
such a
just
thing. That was
Midwest
such a
thing.
thing.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it
Never
was a
did that.
Midwest
Oh,
thing.
gummy
I
bears.
have lived my entire lifetime in the Midwest. So.
Yeah. Okay, and then after the bottle was done, did you then fill it with water and then take one of those cheap Office Max highlighters, crack it open, pull out the guts of the highlighter, put it in the bottle, and then shake it up, and then it when you turned a black light on for your parties, the highlighter liquid would glow.
It was super cool. And you could do all the different colors of highlighters. You know what else was fun? I don't know if you ever did it, but
Steph and Katie are like,
if you were gonna go clubbing, you could literally like draw tattoos on yourself in highlighter, and then you looked super fucking fun. And if you brought a highlighter with you when you were at the club, if somebody had a tattoo, you could fill it in.
Nice. Okay, one more weird thing. Did you ever draw on a wall with a Tide with a paintbrush dipped in liquid Tide? Because you can't see it during the day, but if you put a black light on it, it sparkles. There you go.
That I have not done.
See the things.
You're
see
winning.
the things you're gonna learn.
Now. You're winning.
Yeah,
at
I
the
know.
funsies.
I know. Now I gotta open up the comments for everybody to be
there
like.
are other things you can do with black
BTS?
light that's not so fun.
Kansas City's going to be a whole new experience with glow-in-the-dark tattoos.
Listen, you may not want to be bringing a black light to a hotel. Let's just be so fucking for real.
That's fair.
You may want to avoid that particular
Stay
activity
away from black lights
in order
at
to
hotels.
have fun the
Very
weekend.
good point.
That's absolutely fair.
Very good point. That's
Wait, why can't I find
tip if we need travel tips?
Why can't I find us live?
Don't bring a black light to a hotel unless you want to know some things.
Anyways, welcome everybody. If this is your first time here, welcome. We got all kinds of tips and tricks for your life. That's fair.
Very fair.
Anyway, how is everybody? We're down 2 today. Patricia is still being a world traveler. We love her, we miss her, but she's in a beautiful spot and just enjoying the hell out of her life right now, which is awesome. And she wishes we were there too. I would love to go to Spain. Anyway,
over there.
Yeah. And then Quince is working on some stuff.
Katie, they're saying they can't hear you.
They can never hear Katie. It's always a problem.
I know.
Have you tried turning it off and back on again?
You may have to mime. You may have to just mime the entire live, Katie. Oh, she said we can now. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, fun. I love that. I love that for you.
That's cool. No. Good.
Kids are fun.
Oh, yeah. That's fun.
Mine doesn't have a soft, squishy cover on it. Nobody can bite it and leave marks.
Okay. I'm going to not eat all these tonight. Anybody else have trouble when you get candy for like Valentine's Day? Like you have to resist eating it all in one night?
I don't know why you resist that.
You know what? Here's the deal. If it's all the same candy, I can resist. But if it's one of those chocolates where all the chocolate flavors are a different flavor, yeah, see, then I'm like, well, I had enough vanilla caramel, but did I have enough pecan? No.
Did I have a cluster?
Yeah,
No, I did not.
Did I have
I
a
don't
raspberry
think-
truffle? No. How's that taste different from the strawberry one? Yeah, that's my problem.
I don't feel that that particular style of candy is designed to be resisted.
I think you're right. And I think Russell Stover, should you
Built
need
for-
somebody to promote your candy, we are available.
For binging. Yeah. Hit us up in our DMs, Russell Stovers. We will ambassador for you.
Hit us up in our DMs, Russell. Hey, Russell. Hit us up in our DMs. Oh,
Hey,
my
Russ,
God.
We're the correct demographic to sell the shit out of your shit.
We really are. We really are.
Okay, is the
we're-
microphone working?
Okay.
Is the microphone working? It should be working.
Oh my goodness.
That's good stuff. I'm expecting that phone call anytime, Russ.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Good old Russ. Listen.
Charisse is like, Russ, what's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
Yeah, hit us up.
And they'll say something like, okay, but here's the deal though. We have to send you some chocolates and you're gonna have to eat them on camera. And we're like, say no
Well,
more.
So
Say no more. I just said that chocolate and whiskey go great. Listen, while we're at it, Jameson, I need
see
you
those
to
TikToks where people
While
like
we're
work
at
at
it.
stores and they have to hold up a thing that says how much money they've spent in the store that they work in. And it's like, you've worked here for 1 year. How much money have you spent? And then they look and it's like 3,420. That'd be me with Russ, right? Russ would be like, you have to eat some of our candy. And then it'd be like, Steph, how much candy have you eaten? All of it.
Listen.
All of
yeah.
it.
all of
Absolutely.
it. All of it. Listen, Russell Stovers, we're gonna consume more than we're gonna then you're gonna send us. You're gonna send us, and then we're gonna get like addicted, and we're gonna be at the
Totally.
store buying out the shelf.
Suddenly this is
Stacked up
turned into us stalking Russell Stover. Pick up the phone, Russ. Pick up the phone.
Listen,
I'm just gonna keep calling. Pick up the phone.
That's
Pick it up.
good stuff.
Anyway, I just opened the agenda.
well, maybe we should. I mean, we have an agenda, so like.
Let's stick with the agenda. Okay. Let's do it. Okay. Let's do the welcome and intro. Welcome, everybody. Welcome
Welcome.
to the AP529 Sunday Night Live.
Mhm.
As Katie said, 2 of us are missing because they're living their best lives. And so who we have left tonight? Christina.
Hello.
She does our graphics and she makes merch and she works on the website and does all kinds of amazing things. Look at the shirt that she's got on.
Yeah.
She designed that.
Yeah.
Why is it going fuzzy like that? She designed
Oh,
that.
because
She's got her background
blurred.
blurred.
I've got my background
okay.
blurred.
When we get to the next segment, we're all gonna
Yeah, we'll talk about it
our
more.
backgrounds.
And then we have Doc, who Doc is our head of research. She knows everything, or she can
Mhm.
find it if she doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really, really good at Google.
Yes.
Like, I know how to work the interwebs and the search machines very well.
Yes, she does. And rumor has it she's actually a doctor in real life. I don't know, but that's what they said.
In theory.
Yeah, in theory. And then we have our golden magne, Miss Katie.
Yay.
And Katie does the website and social media, and she helps design merch, and she controls all of us
Mhm.
and just all kinds of stuff,
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Yep.
Or she
Allegedly.
tries. And then my name is Steph, and I do, newsletter, work with volunteers.
She's
Give an
our
opinion.
fearless leader.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The reason, okay, she acts like she doesn't do fuck all. She's the literal reason we are all here.
That's true.
Like,
True story.
none of us are here without her and her fun ideas and crazy ability to draw people together. And so
That's right.
Our fearless leader, our
I'm the
Founder.
community side, sort of a little bit, the planning of community stuff versus like the doing.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
yeah. So we're content and community is kind of our theme. Myself and Lisa, most of the rest of us do the content, and Steph leads the charge on the community, and then we all
Yes.
participate.
Yes. And just pull ideas out of my ass sometimes. Okay.
We
Right.
love your ass. I did.
Somebody does. Next.
The pause was intentional, just so
Oh,
you
next.
know.
sorry, got shifted around. Yeah. So, welcome back to everybody who's been here before. You've already heard all this, but I'm going to say it again anyway. If you like the content we create and the community we host with help from our volunteers, you can support it through our Patreon, which is at patreon.com/ArmyProject529. I'm going to give a quick shout out after this to some of our newer Patreon subscribers. Thank you very much. And thank you very much to everybody who's been around for a while as well. We truly appreciate it. It helps us keep the lights on. And the other thing you can do to support and engage as part of the community is to come to our meetup this summer. We're having a repeat meetup. We did an event last September in Kansas City. We are doing another event in Kansas City this July, I believe the 25th through the 27th. Basically 3 full days of activities, because the feedback we got last time was that it was not enough time. They needed more Army time. So we said, okay, we'll make it happen. Yeah, and we get asked this every time we talk about this. None of us live in Kansas City, by the way. None of us live in the same place, and none of us live in Kansas City. We picked it because it was central, at least for North America. So come hang out with us. It's going to be super fun. As far as we know, everybody who went last year had a blast. We had a blast for sure. And it looked like they were having a blast. People in the hotel were coming in to ask us who we were because it sounded like we were having a blast. We may have made some Army in the hotel staff.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah, if you want,
We're a damn good time.
we did have a damn good time.
Oh my god!
We are.
I screamed my voice away that weekend.
That's true.
We partied hard. Sorry, I'm getting a link to put up now. If you're interested in either of the things I just talked about, it's at the link that's going to be in the chat. Let me pin it. So yeah, we are a little over half sold out for that. So learn more at the link. If you have any questions, please shoot us a message. We are thinking about rolling out kind of a roommate pairing system that's not obligatory, but if you are, because at this point we only have double rooms left, you need to have 2 people in the room. So if you need help finding somebody to room with, we're happy to help and try and pair you up, and you can talk to them before you decide if you want to room together. Yeah, great success with that last year. We did that last year, and nobody complained about the roommate. Everybody seemed to enjoy it. Okay, Patreon. Hang on. Patreon subscribers. Why are you doing this to me? Not you. The document. Not you. You're great. Never change.
I see your little cursor running around the document. It's kind of cute.
Okay.
We all.
Sorry, what?
No, I was just going to say we all have access to the same document. So sometimes when one of us is typing, the other one starts typing right in the same spot, and then we're yelling at each other over Discord. And it's just fun. It's just the way we do things.
I very much enjoy. Sometimes we've had conversations inside of our agenda as like somebody puts something and somebody else yells at them for putting it there, and then they yell back, and it's pretty freaking hilarious. It integrates into laughter really, really fast.
Well, and we've talked about before, the moderators have access to this as well because they put timestamps on it for us for our recordings later. And
yes,
yeah, we've talked about how before, like they could type whatever they want in there and we would read it.
It's true.
It's a good thing we trust our moderators.
We would just.
It's true.
Anyway, thank you guys very much. Here are January and February new subscribers: Lana, Carolyn, Cher, Desiree, AJ.
Do you believe in love?
Nice.
Susan. Susan, if you're here, I need your Discord information. Jacqueline, Carol,
Jackie,
Christina. I have to look carefully because somebody specifically requested when they joined that they do not want a shout out, and I just found them. So I'm going to skip that person. Pauline,
oh, that's nice. Okay.
Colleen. That's why I was like,
All
I know
right.
she's there somewhere. I have to make sure I find her. And I have a note that says, does not want shout out. So yeah, thank you guys
no
very
shout
much.
outs for you per request. All right.
That's really
Christina,
cool.
you're-
Oh, yeah. Because we have a map where you can find friends. If you are interested in finding social media handles of some Army that are potentially in your same city, and you want to go do fun stuff like hang out and go to Korean barbecue and go to cup sleeves and things like that, we have a map on our website. You can go to ap529.com, and I believe it's /map. I believe it is. I believe we didn't try to make it any harder than that.
I do believe it is /map.
Mm-hmm.
And you can fill out just a little bit of information. And of course, it's private because you can put your social media handle there. and so not your name, but you can mark a pin there, put a pin there, and then you can go and see what other people are there. And that has been really fun for me. I have gone now to 3 BTS events at movie theaters with a group of local army that I found in and around the project. And it's become like a little tradition. So whenever there's going to be a theater showing for one of the documentaries, we get together and have food first, and then we go and see the movie. And it's really, really fun. So yeah, don't Bangtan alone. Find some pals for you to hang out with. And speaking of which, if you get onto our Discord, not only do we have the map, but we have the different threads about the J-Hope concert. So if you're going to the concert, and you can you can go in there and find the threads for each one of the cities, and you can find people that are going and hook up with them and decide to do fun things in and around the concert. We also, in addition to that, we have some concert seating maps that we're doing. And it's so cool because to know that many 529 people are going to be at each one of these concerts is just so cool. And we want to see all of you. The admin that are going to be going to Chicago. And so 3 of us are going to day 1 and the other 2 are going to day 2. So we'll be in the Chicago area, but there's lots of other 529ers that are going to be at the other concerts in North America. So yeah, so that's fun. So come find other people. That's the whole point. It's fun to get around people that love the guys the same way that you do. It's more fun that way. So yeah.
It is.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, we have a blog. I know, it's weird. So AP529, we talked about it being content and community. The content side of it is that Stephanie had this crazy idea that we were going to go through all of BTS's discography, including their solo works, during the 529 days in which they were all going to be gone for enlistment up until the Festa of 2025. So from January 1st to Festa of 2025 was 529 days, and we were going to do this deep dive into their content. And so Quince, who's not here today, writes our blog. I come up with the content for it, and then she turns it into this absolutely glorious storyline, and then Christina puts it all together into the actual blog on the website. This week we are in week 58, which is called the Beat of Destiny. For those of you who have been following us or are just finding us right now, we finished the OT7 content in October of 2024, and starting in November we started dedicating 1 month to each member and their solo works, collabs, things like that. So we've done November, December, January, and we are now in February, which is what week 58 is about. And then week 59 is going to release at midnight, and we'll sneak peek the name of it at the end of the program. So stick around for that. Tonight is our Sunday deep dive. So on Wednesdays, we do our midweek tea where we talk about news and any shenanigans that's happened online. And on Sundays, we take a deep dive into specific content. And since we are in the middle of February and J-Hope's birthday is next week, hey, we are deep diving into all things Jungkook tonight. So stick around. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Good.
Speaking of J-Hope, Christina, what do we got? Uh-oh, I can't
You're
hear
on
you.
mute. You're on mute.
Oh,
I am
no.
on mute because my family's eating dinner and it might get loud, so I might have to click off my microphone in a minute. But anyway, so AP529 Hobie Tour merch. Listen, we're not saying that we make the best merch that there is out there, but we absolutely make the best merch out there for BTS because we do subtle stuff. We do if you know stuff. We do unisex. We do plus size, we do all the things, and it's all original designs. And so when we heard about this Hobie tour, we knew we had to do some merch for it. So I took the retro design that I did and made it a little bit different for the Hobie tour. And so, so this is what we got on right here. Hope. Yes, that's him.
Believe it or not,
Dancing on the street.
mine was delayed by a train derailment.
Oh, that's so cool.
Street to
Look at the back.
stage.
Street to stage. So the funny thing is that the design on the front, it's I just tricked you. That's not actually a picture of J-Hope, but man, does it sure look like it.
It looks just like it.
It looks just
I
like
know, it's so impressive.
I worked on his little ear sticking out of his beanie for a while. I had to get that right, those little details. But anyways,
Perfection.
so
really.
we've got that merch available. We've got it in long sleeve, we've got it in hoodies, everything. And then we also have a sign because as I mentioned before, there's going to be a lot of 529 people that are at the concert. We have a vinyl foldable, rollable, waterproof banner that you can get that basically has Army Project 529 on it. And then in real big letters, Love J-Hope. And that's in our shop as well, or it's available as a free download in our newsletter. So you can, if you want to print copies and have just the sign as a paper copy and hand them out to other 529ers or people in line with your giveaways. Let's do it. Let's spread AP529 and J-Hope love. We have a wish. Okay.
We do.
And the wish is that when they are recording the J-Hope concerts in the different areas, that at some point they're going to span the arenas, right? And that we'll be able to pick out very clearly at least one, if not several, AP529 J-Hope banners. Like that's a wish.
We have a dream.
Because
It's a
because
dream.
we just
The
want
desire in our heart.
we just want to see it. Let's see it. So that's in the shop right now.
The pride, like if we're all at home one day and a Bong Time Bomb drops, right? We all get up, we get up to watch it in the morning and we're watching it. We're all excited because here we are seeing all this stuff. And then all of a sudden we see AP529 in the crowd.
I mean,
I will shit my pants.
Literally.
Literally shit my pants.
It'll be a mess, guys.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here.
I wouldn't even know what to do with myself. Honest to God, I wouldn't know what to do.
I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do if J-Hope ever perceived us as well too. Like I mean that's the wish, right? That he just knows like we love you. That's what we wanted to tell him. And we went back and forth like what should we put on a sign? And really the best thing to put on the sign is just we love you.
We love you.
Uh-huh.
We love you. That's what we want to tell you. If I ever get close to you, I love you. Not in a weird way, just in a
in a normal fan way.
In a normal fan way.
Normal appreciation of all the things he does for us.
Exactly. Can never repay it. So that stuff, the banner and the Hobie merch, the unofficial tour Hobie merch is at ap529.com/shop. And anyone that purchases or has purchased in the past, thank you very, very much because you help support our dream of keeping 529 going because we don't plan on stopping. No, we're just going to keep going. Steph's like,
Steph's reading the comments.
I
Steph's
am
over here
yeah.
reading the comments because April was like, note to self, get Steph depends. And that's why she's.
I mean, after the Russell Stovers, we may pick up some new sponsors. Who knows? Who knows?
I'm not too prideful to do a damn diaper commercial. I am not. I would do it.
Listen,
Look, I'll never let go of those Jim and edits from Are You Sure with the Pampers voiceover. So, Steph, you could be next.
listen.
You know.
You do what you got to do to keep the lights on, you know?
You really do. You really do. If we want this to go beyond 529 days, I might have to sell some damn diapers.
Exactly.
So,
Can't stop myself.
Hope on the same diapers, yes.
There we go. There we go.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So anywho, thank you very much for the support. And I see a comment here. I've been looking for BTS car decals. Yeah, if you have ideas, the best way to let us know is you can email us, but also if you're in the Discord, we do get people throwing ideas at us in the Discord as well. So yeah, we will always listen and consider Our only rules is that we don't want to get sued, so we don't use IP or copyrighted information or trademarked information.
Mhm.
But other than that, sky's the limit. It's more
Yep.
fun to be creative anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
In my
Which
opinion.
is why on our retro designs, while they look like the members, Christina drew those with her own hands.
It's
She
just
futzed
enough.
with them herself.
It's just
She
enough.
made those. She made those
Just a tip.
herself. Of her pen stylist.
Of my stylist.
Just
Of
the
my
tip of your
stylist.
pen stylist.
Yep. By the
That's what I
way,
meant.
did anybody else see that letter from JK and think
Yeah.
it is so boring to say I love you to someone. It
Right.
is much better to say you are the pen that writes my story.
Aw.
Jungkook.
I woke up to that. I woke up to it and read it and immediately just gave my husband like the biggest you shit look. Like, why can't you write shit like that?
I mean, that was the whole letter that Jungkook wrote
Oh,
was
my
just
gosh.
amazing.
It's
But that
the lyrics
line,
to his next fan song, basically.
I know that
Yeah.
line in particular, just like,
So sweet.
Oh, so
gosh,
sweet.
he's just, and then of course the two of them commenting, Jin commenting.
Mhm. He's like,
"Yay, you're so grown up." Oh
I
my
think
God.
you know when you love somebody so much the way that they love each other, and you love somebody so much, and you can't really say anything more other than you just yell their name. You know, so I feel that's that, like J-Hope read JK's letter and he was just so touched, but all he could do was say, JK. That's all he could do. JK. John. How they go back and forth like that. They feel so much emotion that the only thing they can get out is like to say each other's names in like a goofy way. That's what I feel like.
It's so
Anyway.
cute.
Somehow 4 months feels really short but really long at the same time. Like
I
it
know.
seems so far away.
I know. Well, we're going to get to J-Hope, but just
We
one
are.
sec,
Yes.
because JK's letter deserves some shout outs.
Yes, it does.
You know, the way that he was like, I'm dreaming about when I can take a picture with all of us in Army again, but maybe it's just a fantasy, but maybe it's not. I was like, like, don't doubt, honey, we're here. We've waited this whole time. Like, what's another
This
4
whole
months?
time.
Like,
Listen, boys. I love how they're constantly like, "Don't forget about us," and we're like,
I
"Bro, we made
know.
a whole project.
we did. We like this.
Thousands of people
listen.
together."
Listen,
Oh my
Jungkook and the rest of you, listen. The fire never stopped burning in the hearth of this Bangtan home. Trust. We never gave up. We never gave up. And even
Nope.
when things, you know, looked really, really dark and people were talking smack about you guys, like, we fought. We reported,
we
we
did.
blocked, we did everything we needed to do to keep that alive. So, and then we tried to return twice as much positivity as we saw negativity out there while we were doing it. So
I think we all became sergeants as well. I think we all we all should also be getting our stripes and our whatever because we served time.
Listen, I, for one, was a
We
complete fool in thinking that I was just going to sign up for a nice little Twitter account and I was going to read some cute BTS stuff and everything was going to be peachy. Like that, I was a complete
Sweet
idiot.
summer child.
Yeah. And instead Twitter turned into, whoo, mamacita. There was some stuff that went down. That still goes down.
It's a battleground over
Right?
there, man.
It's
These men.
But you know what though? What's a little bit of, you know, heartache for us when you think about everything that they had to go through? I think about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Every time I get bogged down with the report and block, and I start to get like overwhelmed with it, I remind myself that this isn't directed at me.
Right.
But there's a sweet, adorable, precious human in which it is directed at. And then I'm like, he deserves They deserve the report block, and then it gives me energy to keep going.
Yeah. No, I agree. I will fight strangers in the street talking smack about BTS. Are you kidding me? I'd rather not.
Listen, spoken like a Namjoon stan over there.
Oh. Anyways, JK, we're not going anywhere, JK. Don't you worry. We're here.
No.
We're here forever. So you just got to get out.
I'm happy
only
to
4
be a
more
pencil
months.
for
Only
you.
4 more
JK.
months.
Happy to be a pencil. I've never
Yes.
wanted to be a number 2 pencil more in my life, and I
That's
appreciate
right.
it.
That's right. So
Very sweet. Okay, you want
All
ready
right.
to start deep diving?
it's time for Jeho. His birthday
It's
is
so
the 18th.
amazing that we will have gone through this whole month celebrating J-Hope and learning more about him. And then at the end of the month, we get to watch him live on Weverse and his opening night and whatever for those of you that are going to stream. And it's like it was all planned or something.
I know.
It wasn't, but it feels like it.
Mm-hmm.
So for each of the members, as we kind of go through them, we have done a deep dive into kind of what we're learning about them, diving more into just kind of having a conversation. And usually we wait sort of till the end of their month, but since it's Hobie's birthday week, we thought this would be the perfect time to do it. And just real quick, if you missed last Sunday night when we did the deep dive into Yoongi, it is on YouTube and you should go check it out. It was a great conversation. And so when you go to our YouTube page, our Project 529 YouTube page, it's weird because it doesn't show up under videos. They show up under live. So if you ever want to watch a repeat of a live, you go to the live tab. Just that's where you find this. Okay, so here we go. So our J-Hope. I think it's interesting because when you were saying, Christina, you know, thinking about the attacks that they get and stuff like that, I think that's really what we all remember about J-Hope, at least the beginning, was the way that he was attacked, the way that he was talked about. He was told he wasn't good looking, whatever, all the things. And so much of what we know of J-Hope during debut kind of stems from that. But really what we don't really kind of give enough attention, I don't think, is the amount of dance talent that he kind of brought with him. So talk a little bit about who he was before debut. What was his focus before debut? And then we'll kind of get more into what everybody's more familiar with, which is kind of the ups and downs of being a part of BTS. Don't all start at once.
Normally we can't shut up over each other.
I mean, like, yeah. So for me personally, I think one of my favorite parts about post-February was spending a lot of time actually on pre-debut J-Hope, because that man produced an astounding amount of content in the dance realm prior to his becoming an idol. He was part of Neuron. He participated in Underground. He was in TV commercials. He was winning competitions with his dance studios. Like, he was well known in the dance community prior to his joining, one of the companies. And I think it's fascinating that he actually was part of JYP first. He had joined JYP and was part of a televised dance competition wherein his team of 4 won first place. They had like 300,000 of the popular vote on that competition. And so he was rapidly going places as a dancer when he joined Big Hit. And so I think it says a lot that, and he talks about it in Burn the Stage, the documentary on YouTube, is when he was first put into BTS, he was put into BTS as their main dancer because they had the rappers. Then they needed that dancer in their group, and so that's what he was added to BTS for. And you know, as he was going to classes for like learning how to sing and learning how to do the other things that idols have to do, one of the things that he said is because he was in a dorm with 2 rappers who rapped freestyle nonstop, he started rapping freestyle because they were rapping freestyle. And he was like, they would laugh at me and they'd make fun of me, and then they would give me pointers on how to improve. And so, I mean, for me, the fascination of this dancer who gets put into this hip hop group, but decides to learn how to rap, and it turns into the J-Hope we know, was an astounding progression to me.
Right.
With him.
I think that background is something that definitely, if people haven't had a chance to read up on that and watch those early videos, like the first week we did here with the J-Hope, you should go back and definitely watch some of that stuff. Because it's, I love watching, especially the super, super early stuff, because it's clear as day that this guy was born talented. Clear as day. Like as you grow and your muscles develop and all that stuff, like the dancing starts to look a little different. It starts to mature as he matures, but the talent is undeniable. Like he's just, that's just him. And I wonder sometimes too, Doc, when you say that he just was getting used to the freestyle as he was listening to Namjoon and Suga. First of all, like those are some amazing guys to learn how to rap from.
Yeah, you're gonna have to learn from somebody.
I mean,
yeah,
if you're gonna learn from August D and RM, then that's pretty cool. But I wonder too sometimes if, because he has this ability to just physically combine his movements with the beat of music, I wonder sometimes if rap just came maybe a little bit more naturally to him, because he was like, wait a second, this is just doing something on a beat or doing something over a beat. Like I can do that in my sleep.
Yeah. It's flow.
Like,
it's
right.
flow.
So
Just
as he's listening,
Yeah.
he's like, okay. And then the coolest thing about that though, is he got his own style though too. He took inspiration from RM and Suga, but he has his own unique style that he developed as well. So I don't know. I wonder that sometimes if because his body is just so in tune with, you know, going with the flow of something, that rapping, he was like, oh yeah, that's just using my voice, you know, instead of my body. Now it's just my voice. And he discovered his natural talent for that as well. So, because I do think he holds his own. The 3 of them are my favorite rappers, you know, and so, but they hold their own. He holds his own.
Yeah.
So
it's so different. Katie, you have any thoughts on that?
I'm not braining very well tonight, to be honest.
I mean,
no, that's good.
You have
That's
excuses.
good.
I'm
You have
just here
valid
for a good time.
excuses. Well, and I think too,
the other thing that I never thought about it. Well, it was funny because one of the things that I think is probably everybody does this when they first start becoming fans is you start, after you learn their names, is you start listening. And then as I was listening, I'd be like, I got a lot of pride by being able to figure out which person was singing or rapping which part. Right. But the thing that always threw me, I could never figure out a particular voice singing. And then I realized, well, hell, he sings too. Like he sings in some of these songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he was multi-talented. It was just a matter of honing in on the area which he was going to be able to provide the most for the team, what they needed. But like you said, so different. Like his tone and everything is so different. And I love that they didn't try to change him to kind of, you know what I mean? Like they just let him be who he was going to be.
Right.
Yeah. I think that was my favorite thing about his mixtapes coming out was he was always an all-arounder. He was always a sub-vocalist. He was always when a main rapper, you know, a rapper, he was always the main lead dancer and the one who kind of like helped with choreography and keeping everybody together. That was always where he was. But a lot of people never really paid attention to the sub-vocalist side of him until his mixtape started coming out. And it became this like, wait a minute, he sings too? But anytime like there's a lot of like channels, especially on YouTube more than other places, that will take the songs and they will break out sub vocal lines. Like they'll digitally remove the audio and some of the main vocal line so that you can hear the sub vocal line. And that man does an insane amount of sub vocalization underneath of their tracks. Like an insane amount of what you hear behind the melody is actually J-Hope. And it played a role. You could see it more with his mixtapes, because one of the things that everybody, when they start evaluating and looking at his mixtapes, like the professional people, one of the things they always point out is the way this man layers his music, which I think, like Christina said, goes back to his dance background. He is so used to moving like fluid with a beat that when it comes to the way he does his music, first of all, his rap is very flowy. He doesn't usually spit fire. He doesn't, he's not like the crazy lyricist. His style is flow, and it's phenomenal. And then when he starts producing things where you can hear all of the parts he does, he layers them to an insane degree. Like, it's just like textured. His style of music is textured, which, like Christina says, I think a lot of that is rooted in his dance background.
And just also the texture. I like that you use the word texture, because texture, to me, his voice in particular has that grittiness to it, that little bit of a like a growly aspect to it that I freaking love. I love when he comes in on, right on the song, and you can just hear, you're like, oh, J-Hope! You get so excited.
But it's not always that, which is I really enjoy.
Always
like
that,
always has the gravelly, and J-Hope doesn't. J-Hope can do either one.
Yeah,
so I enjoy that.
He can be very sweetly melodic when he wants to be. But I happen to like that when he digs in and it sounds a little bit gritty and a little bit gravelly. Like I like that a lot. Because I see that one of these questions, Steph, I don't know if we wanted to know that. Okay, because one of these questions was, how has he contributed to BTS's overall sound and image? And I think when you are considering the 7 and everything that all 7 bring, he has that texture that I love when he comes in. And that's why I think they use him for so many of those sub vocalizations. Because he's that talented. I mean, and they all are. It makes me sick sometimes how freaking talented all 7 of them are. Because when you start focusing on one, you're just like, oh my God, but it's just like, he's one of 7 that are like this. And he's so unique. And I like talking about the texture of his voice and how he brings that in.
So what part of this isn't on the question, but I just thought of this when you guys were talking, because I was also watching the comments. When I look back, and a lot of this is because I do the playlist, I get the playlist ready for YouTube every week. And so I get to see pieces, if I don't stop and watch all of them, of what we're going to put into a playlist. And when I was looking at his early lives, like when he would sit, in that little tiny room, right? I don't know what you see when you watch those, but when I watch them, I see a guy who isn't really sure. I mean, and I'm sure it's because all the shit he was getting, but like, he just isn't confident yet. He's just sort of like, you can tell that this is not natural yet for him, this interaction. You can see the positive side of his personality for sure, but I don't think that yet that he had quite developed the self-confidence that sort of matched what he was doing, like all of his skill. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like, because when I see him on film, when I see him in a live, when I see him on the replay, I'm like, oh, I wish I could show him where he's going to be in 5-6 years, like 10 years. Like, I mean, imagine. And then now when you see him, I know I'm fast forwarding a little bit, but post-military, with this new confidence that he's got, it's like he's like a new person, Right. Compared to that.
I definitely think there is. And there's also with him in those really early lives, I think there's just a sweet vulnerability to him where he's just like, I just want to be the best that I can be. And, I just want to put my love out there and use my skills and help my band members, and there is a vulnerability to him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, and I know he still has that, but you're right. The confidence for all of them had to grow, but yeah, for him
Had to grow, yeah.
especially. Right. And I go back to that moment where Jimin's passing out all the fan letters, and he gets to J-Hope and he's like, hands him a big stack, and J-Hope just like looks at him, and he just reaches up and just hugs him. Like that's that vulnerability of like, oh my God, I got mail that's for me, and
That's the one time I wish I could go back in time. I wish I could go back in time and just write him tons of letters really early on. Yeah. Because I can't imagine what that felt like to see everybody else getting them and not.
I know. So we real quick, we had a comment. Colleen was asking, are the even older lives on Weverse? You know where they are, Connie? All set up for you is in the blog.
Yep.
Go back to the blog on AP529 and go into some of the older weeks. Week 1 through, I don't know, week 7 or 8, and go back, and we've linked all the lives for you, and the good ones with the clear subtitles. We've done all the work for you. So yeah, go back and check it out. And if there's ever one that you can't find, hit us up in Discord. We'll get you the link.
Yeah, we have a whole team of nerds said with love who love finding that stuff.
Yeah,
love our nerds.
Yeah. So I think Stephanie, though, I like the idea of going back and watching those lives, knowing who J-Hope is now, versus, and then going back and watching that, you just see that sweet vulnerability. Yeah. He's just so cute. Sorry. I'm not sorry. He's so cute.
So how have we seen his style, or has it changed over time from beginning to now?
Well, I mean, don't we all tease? I mean, if we're talking about let's just talk about clothing style. Don't we all tease that he is the expensive one?
Yes.
He is.
Can somehow wear the clothing of an unhoused person, but also make it look expensive.
Yes.
I mean, he went from, because in the very beginning, they all dressed them fairly similarly, right? I mean, that was their whole theme. And then as he sort of progressed in his own style and personality, it started to come out that he's just like, I like to look expensive, and damn, does he look good.
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot that in their very first OT7 live, I believe it was their first or second OT7 live, he was wearing this like black hat.
Oh Lord, we lost her.
Oh no, she cut out. He was wearing a black hat.
You cut out.
I want to hear the rest of his outfit.
I do too.
Dang it.
Is she coming back?
She'll be back.
Are you there? Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah. What did you say after the black hat?
All of a sudden it said lost your connection. I don't fucking know. My internet, it's probably because there's a snowstorm outside. Anyways,
we heard black hat.
Okay, so he was wearing that black hat in that live, and everybody like made a big deal about his black hat because he said he had spent like one of his first like post debut paychecks to buy that black hat. Like it was a big deal for him. This hat, he had wanted it for a while. It was fashion. Like it really just set the precedence for who he was. And like their very first or second OT7 live was like, this is fashion, and he was really showing out this hat.
He's like, it's called fashion, bitch. Look it up.
Yeah.
You should get on my level.
Try it sometime.
He's like,
why don't you try some fashion? I love it. I love it so much.
Like Hobie it's like Leslie just said, like, you look at him, he is the expensive one. Like he's the diva of the group, but I don't mean attitude wise. I mean put together, everything always. Like he wants the best of it all, which he freaking deserves every bit of it. So knock yourself out, Hobie. But like, you watch him, and he knew what he wanted early on. He knew he had the everything just fits him well. Everything looks good on him. And I think he knew. It's like, if you knew, like, it's like you think you have this potential inside you, and you're just like, if I can just get the chance, right? Like, you kind of live like, if I could just get the chance. That's what he reminds me of. Like, if I ever have the money, or if I ever have the opportunity, I'm fucking gonna look amazing. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yep. No, I do know what you mean. And then whereas I think sometimes some people equate expensive with looking classical. I think J-Hope goes, I'm going to look good and expensive and wear this designer stuff, but I also like to dress a little more street style. So, like, for example, when his performance just at the Paris thing, that was definitely like a street fit. You know, the big shorts and the jacket and the way the hat was backwards and everything like that. But it's still, it's just, he wears it so well, and it's so Hobie. Like, every outfit I look at, I look at him and I'm like, God, he looks so good. And he just looks so J-Hope. And I mean that as the highest compliment. Like, he's just true. I mean, he's just true to his sense of style, you know?
Exactly. It's fascinating because, like, consistently throughout their career, when the other members are asked to describe J-Hope, it's like, he's so cool. Like, they all, like, he's just so cool. And like, that's like the consistent thing they say about him. And we all see it. Like, he just drips cool no matter what he puts on.
He really does.
Swag.
And, like, not many people could pull off what he does.
No. I was just going to say, like, the way he pairs some things, if I wore that same, obviously I have no, what swag whatsoever. But, I mean, practically anybody, if they wore it, it would look ridiculous. But if he wears it, it looks spectacular.
Cool.
He looks amazing.
What were those shoes he wore to the airport a couple weeks ago? Like, they looked like slippers, and they were like $7,000 shoes.
I know. Well, and there's like a sense in his style, like you just said, Katie, there's a sense in his style that sometimes he just goes for something just a little bit whimsical. And it's never too much or like, oh, that's corny. It's just like, oh, that's so cool.
Or like his like modern skirt that at first I was like, is that reminding me a little bit of my brownie uniform? But also it's really cool looking.
It is
so
cool.
Yeah.
It's giving fashion
or like
cool.
the way he always attaches a bobble to the bags he carries around, like, it's so cute. Yet the way he carries it makes it so cool.
First of all, his bags. First of all, the fact that he has a bag, and they're great bags.
The fact that he carries a bag with pride. Yeah, he loves that.
He looks so good with those bags too.
He does. And listen, I am not one who follows fashion houses at all. I know almost nothing about fashion, but I know what looks good. And I know when somebody's wearing something that matches their style and their personality, and it just like they're owning the outfit and they feel good in it. And he just seems to have that in every time he goes out.
Well, and also there's we said it about somebody in my friend group. There's a difference between you wearing an outfit and an outfit wearing you. Yes. And the clothes he wears would wear other people.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's a slim guy. You know what I mean? It's not about his physique. It's just it's attitude, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think what he's wearing on stage and the way that he styles himself impacts his performance?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely, because he said it does.
Yes.
And you can see it. You can see it in like OT7 performances. Both J-Hope and Jimin say the same thing, is they dance for the outfit they're wearing, not the song they're doing. And you can literally watch the way they dance, like when they're out there in cutesy little like overalls and cute little hats, their dances throw cuteness. But when they're out there in like backwards hats and chains, like their dances throw that harsher, more intensity vibe, even though the choreo is the same. The whole dance feels different, especially from those two. Now all of them dance for the outfit they're in, but J-Hope and Jimin just ooze the outfit that they're in more intensely. And it's probably because they're the two like main dancers who have backgrounds in dance before idol training and all of that. But like you can watch J-Hope's personality change on the same choreo depending on whether his outfit is cutesy or his outfit is more intense or more sexual, like that sensual. Like, look at just the way he performs more
Mm.
in the different outfits he wore more on, because like Mama 2020 hits way different.
Real different. Yep.
That was the deepest V
That-
ever.
Yeah.
That hits
Ever.
that performance hits exceedingly different from even his Pieces de June Gala performance. And so like I would say 100% he
Yeah,
danced
legit.
Roman Empire right there.
Almost.
How dare
That's some confidence.
How you dare?
Well, and that's my other favorite is, I mean, I watched it again today. My favorite concert to watch of them is Love Yourself, Speak Yourself, the final, right? And when he comes out when they do Tear, and he's in that camouflage top with the harnessy thing, and the attitude that comes, obviously both with the song itself and the outfit that he's wearing. I mean, it's like enough to like make your hair on your arm stand up. I mean, that's like he owns that moment so much. And I think that's what's so interesting about all of them. But since we're talking about Hobie, I'll bring it up in this context, is that none of them, especially not Hobie, get lost in the crowd of the 7 of them. Like, right? Like he's his own in that moment. He owns that fucking stage. And you never want to lose sight of him. He just has that presence. And I think it's the combination. And I think watching that confidence grow and watching what he's wearing and watching all those parts of it show the growth of him over time. Until, of course, here we are now. And I think he just knows who he is. Like, he just knows what he has. He knows what value he brings, whether it's to the group, whether it's to Army, whether it's to the line that he's promoting at the time, whether it's whatever. And I think that you just can't, it's unmistakable when you see him.
Yeah. And they adore him for that. Mm-hmm. They absolutely, the other 6 absolutely adore him for that. Mm-hmm. They love that his confidence, and they know that he's, and Namjoon has said this, they know he's second in command.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They absolutely know it. And they know that when they're on stage and they make a mistake in their dancing, better not have had Hobie see it. Because when you're the dance captain of a world-class group, the way that he is, like, you got to have the confidence and the skill, and he has both. Mm-hmm. So cool. They love him. I love watching how much they just like when they cling to him. Mm-hmm. They're just like, oh, they're like, JK's like hugging him from behind, and they just love hanging on him.
That time when Jimin's sick on the airplane and Hobie goes and just takes his hand so he can give him some. I mean, that's that just your energy feeds everybody else. Like that's a powerful thing,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, Yeah.
To be someone who feeds other people and gives positivity and positive energy and light versus someone who just sucks the life out of it. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I think we all love the fact that Yoongi in particular, describe Hobie and he said vitamin.
Yep.
That is the perfect word to describe.
Well, and we've also seen like the interview behind the scenes kind of stuff where Yoongi was literally like laying on a table, and they're like, "What can we get you?" And he's like, "Find me my vitamin.
Yeah,
J-Hope.
Bring me J-Hope, or I'll be exhausted.
I need my vitamin." And he was like completely and utterly exhaused. But then J-Hope shows up, and it's all like, "What are you doing?" And the next thing you know, he's all like crazy and wild. And it was just so freaking cute where he's just like, I need my vitamin.
Yep. And I love how they love, he strikes me, especially as many Run BTS episodes as I've watched, he strikes me as someone who, it's not that he's easily amused, but his laugh comes very easily. So like he's entertained and he's gonna laugh. He's not gonna like hold it back like that. He's gonna guffaw and it's gonna be adorable. And it just
if he laughs, you're gonna know about it.
Yeah,
right. And it raises the happiness level of everybody around him. You know what I mean? Yeah, it is. It's so contagious. I love listening to him giggle.
Yeah. Even my husband said, he's like, if we were walking through a mall or something or an airport and Hobie laughed, down the hall. He's like, even I would know who that was. Like, it's so identifiable. And that laugh brings so much joy to like everybody. It's like free therapy.
Right. Well, what was it when they were in the carpool karaoke with James Corden? A lot of the general public had said, "Who's the smiley guy in the middle?" Because they were so like enamored.
Like,
they were so enamored of him. And
that
how,
was me. That was my story. He's the one that drug me in.
His smile is. Yeah, his beautiful smile is just.
You just want some of what he has. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you watch him and you're like, okay, if I could even just have that much of what he's got. Sean always says, like, his bias, Sean's bias is Sugar, but his record is Hobie. And he says it's because he's more like Sugar, but he wants to be a J-Hope. And he's like, and so watching J-Hope makes me realize the value of being that person that's joy and light and happy. And not that he's expected to be that all the time, obviously, but that is the role sort of that he plays with Army and with the group.
Yes. And all of that swag, all of that confidence in freaking $1,000 outfits, and yet still so humble when he meets like that video when he finally meets J. Cole and he's just like, you're my idol. Like, he's just so, and he's so humble and and when he's accepting the Platinum Award and it's just him and he's still like, you don't look at him and go, oh well, he's full of himself or whatever. You just don't get that from J-Hope ever.
No,
not from any of them really. But for J-Hope, you still get that sense of just like, he's just happy. He's happy at all their success, and he knows that they've worked hard to get it, and that they just keep saying, we're just going to keep working harder. And that's I think part of that question right there that we had talked to, like how he's contributing to the overall sound and the image. I just think he brings that happiness quotient.
Well, he also brings the, I was watching again. I mean, I watch this shit all the time. It's just, I need a life. But, RM's live where he's talking about how J-Hope basically saved and made Mic Drop what Mic Drop is. And so he's got that genius writing side of him right now. Of course, we see it in his solo work and stuff like that. So let me ask you this. So how do you think, or do you think his songwriting, his sound or whatever changes between what he does when he contributes to the three of them, the three guys creating content for the guys, versus when he's now done it for himself in multiple albums and mixtapes and stuff like that? Like, what differences do you see? Do you see more freedom? Do you see more? And I'm not the expert. That's why I'm asking. I mean, what are there differences? Do you feel like we see a side of him that we aren't allowed to see, or do you feel like it's been consistent throughout, no matter what?
I mean, if Doc doesn't mind me going first, I think for me, I was so interested to hear what he wanted to say, what he wanted to tell us and convey with his solo music, because it just seemed like there was, we knew from him from BTS that he was the serious dance leader. He's an amazing dancer. He's going to make sure everybody's on point there. He's very happy. He brings the joy. He's the vitamin, So I was like, I wonder how his solo music is going to set him apart. And the fact that he got to sit us down listening to his music and be like, look, sometimes being the hopeful one is fucking hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes being the happy one and bringing the positive energy is hard. And, because I know the same way that the other members know, I know how hard it is to stay positive sometimes in this world. And I really appreciated his honesty with us to basically be able to say, like, you know what, this is, I do have some doubts sometimes. I go to dark places.
Right. I'm not joyful and just bright all the time.
Like I definitely have to get some of these feelings out, every once in a while in order to be the positive force. And sometimes I just don't have it. Like sometimes it's, it's difficult. And I love that honesty from him, and that we all generally, we just accepted that album as like, yeah, tell us how it really is.
Right.
We don't need you to be happy Hobie and have the mask on all the time. Not that it's a mask,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? Like
Right.
we don't have to have you act happy all the time. You can tell us when you're hurting and when you're feeling like you're not feeling like being very happy. You can tell us and we'll listen. And so I like that. And I think it was a risk. Yeah, it was a risk, of course. But don't we love that about them? Don't we love their duality?
Yeah.
Don't we love how they can switch back and forth and tell us the real thing and be honest with us? I mean, that's I definitely appreciated that. And God, he blew me away. Freaking Arson, the first time I saw that music video, I was like, damn, dude. You are killing it. Like this music type, like the hard rock, the little bit of the emo rock of more too. I was like, this kicks so much ass. I love it.
Yep.
Well,
it's funny because before you give your insight, because you know too, this is just I'm just I don't know much, but I just remember being new Army. And all I knew of J-Hope was what I saw in Carpool Karaoke, which the light, and I was like, he's what drew me in. And I would watch the Run BTS episodes, and he was just so happy, And then somehow I accidentally saw Arson. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. So he's emo? Like, emo, I mean? Like, what is going on? Like, is he, so wait, now what? Like, I was so confused because I was so used to seeing him, like, in this whatever. I loved it about him. And then I saw, like, somebody, I think Leslie said, where he's on that video and he's like, I'm not okay. And I was like, okay. So he was, like, for me, the first person that I saw out of the group that was able to come forward and be like, everything's not okay all the time. And I'm okay to be honest with you. And it's another reason that I fell in love with them as a group, was because of seeing both sides of his personality and him being willing to show both.
Yeah. I think for me, his discography, like, I had to take it as a whole, because like Hope World came out and it was, the music was very J-Hope, very sunshine, happy, blah, like in your face. The music videos were very, very colorful, but the lyrics were very dark. Like the lyrics to Hope World, if you ever dive into those lyrics, and they are on our blog, Leslie has put them together, but the lyrics to Hope World are very dark, and they're very almost like trapped in sunshine is the feeling he gives. And then you fast forward to Jack in the Box, and the music got a lot more dark, but the lyrics became way more hopeful. It was almost like, listen, there's these two sides to my personality, and they're both real. I am sunshine, but I also have this darkness in me, but there's hope in that darkness. And I found the fact that his name, and then he pointed it out in the Jack in the Box album, went back to the story of Pandora's Box, to the extremely poignant, because his whole persona, his personality on stage, there is this feeling like he was supposed to be the light in darkness. When all the evil is unleashed upon the world and there's darkness everywhere you can see, there's this little ray of sunshine that floats out of the box. And his lyrics with Jack in the Box really went back to that hope that, what if none of this was here? What if all of this was not a thing? Would I still be me? And yes is the answer. I would still be who I am, even without the fame, without the houses, without the cars, without none of this. I would still be me. But like, I want to burn brighter. I want to be more. That whole album was just this, almost like he was flipping this switch of saying, you know what, there's this dark side, but I still want to be hopeful. I still want to bring that joy, bring that light, bring that whatever. But I want to be able to do it where people can see both sides, that I'm not just sunshine always. I am more serious. I am more, focused. I do have this side of me. And then when Hope on the Street Volume 1 released, he really showed his versatility as an artist. Because, Hope World had a sound, Jack in the Box had a sound. And then you got to Hope on the Street Volume 1. And he was writing all these songs to fit different dance styles. And back to the way his lyricism just oozes rhythm. The fact that this man was actually able to create a whole EP on different dance styles and just flow with the rhythm for that dance style. Like each song, the EP itself is so cohesive with each other. Like it just flows from one to the other, and the album has a feeling. But then he puts it into the docuseries, and all of a sudden, like each song feels so very different because it all goes with that, like the house music, the popping, the you know, the everything. And so like that part, I was a bit astounded. Like I loved the dichotomy of those first two, the mixtape and then his first album. But then that second album, the versatility of this man was just mind blowing. Mind blowing.
Yeah. Let's talk about too, real quick. I agree with you. I love those descriptions. But let's talk about really quick when you saw him bounce out of that box for Hobie Palooza, for Lollapalooza, the first BTS member to perform solo on a stage where he himself talked about he wasn't sure how many people were even going to show up. He didn't know how it was going to be received. He was practicing constantly, worrying constantly, because he knew all the pressure, all the eyes. This is J-Hope of BTS. And he took not only himself, you know, to say like, I need to be the best that I can be, but I am representing what a solo performance from a member of BTS will look like. And I don't know if any other human being could have done it better than him. The pride I felt while watching him, just so good. That performance was just amazing. And, you know, Doc, what you were saying, like performing some of those songs, people that weren't even familiar with BTS, not familiar with J-Hope at all, were going to be wandering into that concert and hearing it. And like, what were they going to think? You know, what was the general public going to think? And all in all, I would say there's not a person, if anyone says that concert was not a smashing success, they're a liar.
Right.
Because it was.
Right.
It was
He broke all the
absolutely a
records.
smashing success.
Yeah.
And
he broke all their records for Lollapalooza in that performance.
He did, and he came out with, listen, not only is BTS amazing, but all of us each individually can do our own thing and totally smash it. So I was just so proud of him. Like he's been my wrecker since day one. Yeah. And just watching that, I just had the stupidest grin on my face the whole time, watching him just kill it. But then he goes into the live afterward when he was talking with Jimin, and he was basically like, I was in a dark place. He knew he was burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
He knew he was working way too hard. He was putting way too much pressure on himself. And like, I get it. I totally get it, because he had all those expectations on him as being the first BTS to do that. But I'm just so glad that Jimin hopped on a plane.
I was going to say, yeah.
And was like,
I mean, the different person that J-Hope became from when before Jimin got there and when Jimin showed up. Yeah. Like we talk about how J-Hope is the vitamin, but Jimin was exactly what J-Hope needed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
To be able to propel him to do that. I think he gave him the confidence. I think he gave him the energy. I think he was like, okay, I'm not alone in this. And if I fail, at least I've got Jimin here. I mean, it was just like,
right. And
one
you
of the
could
most
even
beautiful things I've ever, one of my favorite things about them is the way they show up for each other. And for J-Hope, who always shows up for his brothers, to have Jimin show up obviously meant the world to him.
Yeah.
And I don't know that he could have done it, but it obviously wouldn't have been the same had Jimin not.
Yeah. And I mean, in the documentary on Disney Plus, you can see the behavioral change when Jimin shows up. Like he was visibly upset with the tightness of the choreography. And I mean, at one point he was ready to fire all the dancers, and they were like, bro, there's 3 more days. Give us some time, okay? They've only rehearsed for 1 day. Give them the 3 days of time. Like, please don't just kick them all out right now. Just give us a moment. And then he like relaxed a little bit, but like he was going around town and like just kind of seemed lost and worried. He was talking about how he had unintentionally lost so much weight from the stress, and they had to adjust his costuming and all kinds of stuff. And then Jimin shows up, and it is just like all of a sudden you get his laugh is back.
It's bubbly,
He's like more relaxed. He's not as upset over the choreography and the stage and rehearsals. Everything got lighter, and there's almost like you can tell like it's almost like he was talking in a way probably on their group chat that the rest of the members were like, oh, he's not doing well. And Jimin was like, my schedule is going to let me go. I'm fucking jumping on a plane and I'm flying halfway around the world because he's not doing well and he needs support. And it made all the difference. Like even the staff was like, bro, he is a different person than before you arrived. He's so much more relaxed now. And I love that. I love that.
I think one of the things too that's powerful about Jimin showing up is that the witness, there's something, someone's an amazing friend when the people around them take so much excitement when they're doing well and are happy, right? And so watching Jimin watch J-Hope in that moment and see him do well and him crying when everybody was cheering for his brother, like all of that shows actually how special J-Hope is. Because J-Hope didn't always get all that love. And so for Jimin to get to witness that for his brother, I think was one of the most beautiful moments. Like, because Jimin's going over in his mind. They've been through this whole walk together. And for me, I just feel like for someone who, and I hate to say it this way, but I think it's sort of how it is, who got the least amount of attention in the beginning to be the first one to go solo live like that. That is some fucking serious growth and courage to do that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. I love when Jimin's just sitting there. J-Hope just leans over to he hugs him like this, and Jimin's like, first is like, what's wrong with you, dude?
Oh my God.
It's so cute.
So cute.
By the way, I have to shout out Jacqueline. Thank you.
Yes, Jacqueline.
For the donation.
Thank you.
And the cadence in his solo music equals his dancing roots. Agree.
100%.
Completely agree.
Yep. I totally agree.
Well, and don't you feel like too, the beautiful thing about the documentary series was, that we've watched them each kind of go back in time a little bit in a weird way, to try to go back to retrace their steps to figure out who they are now, right? Like you have to kind of go back in time and trace those moments to figure out where I am in the moment. And I think for him to develop the music and the dancing and all that and go back in time helped him remember where he came from, what he's passionate about, what he loves. And then all that just kind of showed in the beauty of the dance and the songs together and all of it. And I think he found himself again, which I think they all kind of needed to do before, especially before being apart for a while, right? Or while being apart for a while.
Yeah. I now I have to go back and watch that live. When
I know that live hits so different.
I know.
All their lives hit so different later on.
They really do.
Yeah.
When you have more kind of insight. Let me ask you this. So what is it about, which I think it's kind of an obvious answer, but I'll ask because you guys will have different insights. But, everybody kind of knows he's the second lead. And like, what do we think it is about? I mean, it's not just that he's a great teacher for choreography. I mean, what is it about him? Because you've got great options, right? UNG would be a great option. Jen could have been a great option. What was it about Hobie, do we think, that makes him the second in command, the one that should RM ever need a break, J-Hope's going to be the one that steps in?
I mean, so in a cool way, it's interesting because if you think about how Namjoon is the leader, but Namjoon is not the oldest,
Right.
and he's not the youngest. He's in the middle. J-Hope is also not the oldest, not the youngest. And so right away you have a precedent where, okay, BTS is so absolutely freaking cool that you don't have to be the oldest for us to respect you or for you to be the leader.
Right.
You can be younger, right?
Right.
So first off. Second off, J-Hope, in my opinion, is in a unique position because of all his talents. If the vocal line needs support, he can support vocally. If the dance line needs help, he can support dance-wise. If the rap line needs help, he can support rap-wise. And so he, you know, in my mind, part of being a good leader, and this is not at all, like, I'm not saying anything, this is not negative on Namjoon, because Namjoon is a fucking amazing leader, and he absolutely deserves to be the leader of BTS. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in terms of a second in command, you would want somebody who could help in any aspect that the band needed them as a second in command, right? And so J-Hope is in a unique position to where he just happens to be good at all of those things, right? And so I think Namjoon feels confident, like, if I'm not here, I know J-Hope can help with any of those things that BTS might need, like, absolutely. And he has that positivity also that drives him. And so it's not a situation where, you know, anybody would have to worry that J-Hope's not looking out for your best interests, because he absolutely is. That's just his personality, right? And they're all like that. I mean, they got lucky. They got 7 amazing people. They're all like that. But I think for being a second in command, I think being able to be confident, if I were Namjoon, being able to be confident that my second in command, J-Hope, could help with anything else that anybody needed in all these different facets would make me feel really, really good as a leader, because I'm like, I don't, you know, I can have him here. And he just balances in between. You see him with the rap line and the young line, and he's just perfectly slots in there. And then you see him goofing with the 3 Macnays, and he perfectly slots in there too. Like, he just has that ability to just be everybody's bestie. And you can tell they respect the hell out of him. They respect the hell out of him. So yeah, that's my opinion as to why he just makes such a good second in command.
Yeah, I agree with everything Christina said on it. I think it's also important to note that from their debut and ever since, when asked, you know, what role do the members play in their personal lives when they're in the dormitory and whatever, they've consistently called J-Hope their mom. And he's the one that is the one taking care of everybody. He's the one, you know, you could even see it in the docuseries that was on the Beyond the Stage docuseries where Jimin was getting text messages from J-Hope saying, get up and clean your house. And then Jimin literally was getting up and cleaning his house. Like, he just like mothers them. He cares for them. What their needs are and what they want and desire. You know, even though Yoongi was like, I can do this by myself, he was still the only one to show up to, you know, Yoongi's mixtape music video shooting. It was like a freaking 3 or 4 hour trip, and he took that trip.
Didn't he send a coffee cart? Or was that a different
To Digita. That was to Digita.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was to Digita. Yeah. But like, you know, they constantly talk about how he's sending text messages, checking up on everybody and whatever. And then on the flip side, so he's got that like nurturing, caring, you know, making sure all the members are taken care of and doing well. And then on the flip side, you have that dance leader side of him, that perfection side of him that makes sure that their performances are in sync and spot on and all this other stuff. Because like, you know, prior to their Scammy's performance of Butter, he had COVID. And so he wasn't there. Like, he learned the dance via like a video call, you know, and he wasn't there in the rehearsals for it up until 48 hours before their performance. And he was still weak, very weak from being sick for so long. But he had finally cleared his test and he was able to be with them for 48 hours only. And they made multiple comments in those Bangtan bombs or episodes where they were like, normally we would rehearse and we would rehearse and we would rehearse, but without J-Hope there, it was like we would rehearse and be like, good enough.
Yeah.
and then Jimin was all like, I need you to rescue me. Like
we need J-Hope. Yeah.
And so you got that more like critical, like, no, we're going to do this 72 times until every move is perfect.
Right.
From him. And you could see every last member was like, oh my gosh, our rehearsals were a mess without him. Like, we need him so bad. Like, just corral us all together. Because like Christina pointed out, he's very good at meshing with, the maknae line and the Hyung line. And so like when the maknaes are like going crazy and running around and doing stuff, he's capable of just corralling them in, like, okay, Agi 1, Agi 2, Agi 3.
Baby 1, baby 2, baby 3.
Come over here, it's time to rehearse. Like, come on in, bring it in, and stop taking a nap, sugar, it's time to rehearse, like that's the kind of personality he has. And I think that's a large reason why he plays such a pivotal role as that second leader in the group.
Do you think too sometimes, Doc and Steph and Katie, do you think sometimes too, because we know for Bangtan Bombs and Run BTS and everything like that in the soup, that there's a lot of stuff that never makes it to the public, right? But the stuff that does make it, they love clinging to him. He's they physically wrap themselves around J-Hope. And in a way that they don't really do to Yoongi, they don't really do to Namjoon or Jin. They love them, but there's something about J-Hope where it's just like, I think Jungkook said one time that Hobie just really smells really good.
I can see that, yeah.
Of course he would say that. Of course he would say that.
But it's like they respect the hell out of him, and he can be the disciplinarian when it comes to the dancing. But what is it about him? Do you think they just want to cuddle? They just want to physically wrap themselves around him.
JK, straddling him, and all
they're
in that chair. I mean, that's
and
one
he's
of the
like,
first things I ever saw.
This is my Hobie, and he puts his legs over his head. He's like, you can't have him. He is mine.
And then other members are like, you will share.
Yes,
you will join your chair because you will share. In many ways, I think that goes back to that mothering role he plays in the group. Because if you think about a normal household, who are the children typically piled on top of and wrapped around? And it's usually the mom. It's usually the mothering, nurturing figure in that house that the kids are just piled onto. And so that's where I feel like it's that role he plays in their life. Where
to me, J-Hope is the soft love, and Jin is like the hard, like fun, like poking you, never letting you get it. You know what I mean? Just I'm going to give you a hard time. And J-Hope is that literal soft place where where you go when you need to be comforted, when you need the energy, when you need that. And I think it's one of the most beautiful things about the group, I think, is that part of Hobie that is so like, if that's what one of the boys needs, he's gonna be all up in it and be okay with it. Whereas Aria would be like,
Namjoon's like, that was a bit too far. You kissed me on the forehead. That was a bit too far. That was too far.
Yeah.
You want me to share all my food with you? Come on now.
That was a little far.
Come on now.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things about J-Hope is his willingness to be that physical, because some people are just, their love language is touch, and they need that sort of human, connection in that way. And he allows to be, he is okay. Because it's funny because he's not that necessarily that way with them first. They usually initiate that. At least from what I can,
remember,
from what I can kind of
hasn't he talked about how his mom used to like do this while he was falling asleep
Yes,
when he was
when
little?
he's
Yeah,
asleep.
yeah.
He does, and if he does it
because
to
they make
himself.
fun of the fact that he'll
That
do
he
that
does.
to himself when he's
Yeah,
sleeping.
he
Like
pets
he'll just
himself.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
he'll just caress himself while sleeping,
Yeah.
which is so cute.
Well,
That is
kudos
cute.
to J-Hope's mom.
Yeah.
She seems like a really nice lady. It
She
seems like
really
they have a good
does.
relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Well, and
love
you
that.
see it in the documentary,
Yes.
right? When she's like, if any of the boys need to put on weight, you bring them here. So he takes after her, right? He's got that motherly sort of, he was trained well by her, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. One of my other favorite J-Hope moments is when he's walking through the exhibition where they have all the blown up pictures of the Proof promo, and he's walking by each of the matinees and he's like, oh, he's so handsome. He never listens, but he's so handsome. And then he gets to the next one and he's like, oh, so handsome. He never listens.
And
then
can
he's
just
like,
see
I
the
raised
pride all
him.
over
I
his
raised
face.
him.
Like he's so proud of them, which is also
Right.
Yeah.
like just like beaming proud. And the
Yeah.
fact that he's almost always one of the very first ones to comment when they say something or do something on Weverse. I mean, he's just so plugged in to their lives. And I think they
Yeah.
probably are all to a certain extent. But we know like J-Hope not J-Hope, like RM kind of pulled back a little bit when he was going through his thing. And I feel like J-Hope is the one that will always plug in,
Right.
plug in,
Right,
and check
right.
in.
It's
Yeah.
amazing to me, again, because you didn't know that these 7 were going to end up this way back, talking 2010, 2011. It's amazing to me how they ended up with people that are so good in all these different kinds of emotional intelligence. And J-Hope, in particular for me, like you kind of alluded to, Steph, there's the physicality to him. I think that's what he brings. His emotional intelligence is like, listen, come here and just give me a hug, because I don't think that's not the kind of emotional intelligence I have. Like if somebody's like, I would need a hug, I was like, let me go find you somebody that will be better suited to do that.
Steph would love to give you a hug.
But that's a kind of emotional intelligence is like, it's the physical part of it that you need. And yes, if JK needs to wrap himself around me like a wet paper towel, like that's what he needs right now. And so I'm going to, encourage that and be okay with that. So it's just amazing how they all ended up being able to have those strengths. And yeah, he's so special. I'm so proud. It sounds so dumb, but I'm so proud of him. This tour, this music that's going to be coming out.
So so now that you've brought that up, so we're getting ready to see him, whether you can watch streaming or you're going to see him in person. What version of Hobie, J-Hope, new persona, what are we going to see in this person who's going to present himself in front of us? Is it going to be something we've never seen before? Is it going to be same old same? You know what I mean? Like, what do we think? What are we expecting?
What are you expecting, Doc?
So based on his Gala de Pieces June performance, I would say all. So I think that he's going to give us Hope World J-Hope. I think he's going to give us Mama J-Hope. I think he's going to give us, Spit and Fire Dior rap line J-Hope. And I think he's going to give us, Jack in the Box and Hope on the Street Volume 1. But I think he's going to tie them all together with this new level of confidence that he got post-military. Like him spending 18 months around normal people in the military gave him a level of confidence that he just didn't exude prior to his enlistment. And I think, some of the accomplishments he succeeded at as in pre-enlistment. So when he was that first solo performer and he was saying things like, I don't even know if Army is going to show up if it's just me. And then Lollapalooza sold out the fastest a Sunday had ever sold out in their history. And they had more people at a single performance than had ever been in Lollapalooza history. And so that 103,000 people, which is a mind-blowing number, showing up to that Hobie Palooza performance, and the way he looked, almost like surprised when they're screaming J-Hope, J-Hope, even though he's had them screaming J-Hope, J-Hope, J-Hope during solo songs throughout his career. This was like his solo debut, and 103,000 people screaming your name in the fact that, you know, he said it in the documentary or in one of the Bonton Bombs, I can't remember, but he said that he was honestly surprised that International Army had learned the lyrics to all of his songs when his album only released the Friday before. So very little time, and yet the International Army had learned the lyrics to his songs and in a foreign language, and so he was astounded and he was shocked, and you know, and then he did the Mama Awards and again seemed surprised at the reaction, and he did the Rockin' New Year's Eve, and again he was surprised. He was backstage behind that little tent and he could hear them screaming J-Hope, J-Hope, and he was just like, you know, listening.
Yeah,
and
he was like
looked
ripping out his in ear.
legitimately surprised that he's like pulling his earbuds out like, are they screaming my name? I think all of that happening, you know, and then he spent a stupid amount of time engrossed in filming, you know, Hope on the Street Volume 1 prior to him hopping off for enlistment in April. And then he spent 18 months, you know, just kind of watching, like being a civilian, watching the reaction to when his docuseries released. And I think those things all contributed to this confidence that we see now, where he's like, no, people do like me for me as an artist. You know,
well, I think too, he got to, if I may say
streamed
one thing about that too, he also got to, like, you guys know what this is like, where you have your area that you work in and you might be really celebrated in that, but you're not really sure if maybe you could take that same talent or abilities or whatever and use it in another area. And I think one of the reasons I think the military was so good for him is because he got to be a leader in a whole nother way and prove to himself. You're not just a great dancer and a great rapper and a great leader over here. You're actually someone people want to follow over here. Like, you're great in every way. And I think that builds confidence. Like, it's not just, oh, I have my little world over here and I can dominate over here. He can go over here and also dominate over here. And that's something that you just can't, you know what I mean? You can't create that any other way other than experiencing something different and being successful there as well. And so I think he comes out of that with this whole thing like, yeah, I mean, I'm good at this. Like, I am a leader. I am. People listen to me. People respect me. I'm likable. All these things only make you grow your confidence.
Yeah. You know, plus also he is almost 30. You know, and we really don't settle into who we're going to be psychologically until we're like 28. So like, you know, we're seeing him as, you know, being his fully psychologically developed self.
Right.
You know, after this.
Okay, so here's what I think about what he's going to show us. The only thing I can really compare it to is, what did I think Yoongi was going to show us in his solo concert? And what he ended up, in my opinion, showing us was throughout his stage and how he performed, he was sharing with us, look, here are the things that I'm super passionate about: playing the piano, playing the guitar, playing these instruments. I rapped. I had the stage literally peel away in layers to show you that my music takes you deep into my psyche. And as I peel these layers away, you'll see pain. You'll see, you know, all the bad stuff and the anger that I went through. But I want you to see it, that it's possible to lift these layers away through music. And I also want you guys to know that you have helped me along on this journey and that I love you so much. And so after that was what Yoongi wanted to tell us and share with us personally from him to us, I'm super curious. What does J-Hope want to share with us? What part of himself does he want to share? Because I don't know. I don't think it's going to be him playing the piano and playing the guitar the way that it was with Yoongi. I don't think it's going to be a stage where you're talking about, you know, I had to get through the anger and walk through the door. That's not his journey.
Right.
You know, and so I don't know. I feel
Is it going to
like
be dance? Is it going to be the journey through dance and finding himself? And
I feel like with him, he really does come back to the fact that, you know, hope is like his whole mantra. And so he knows that there's a lot of unrest in the world right now. He knows that. And so he's going to want to give us something that is going to make us smile from ear to ear that whole time and dance and celebrate with him. And yeah, that doesn't mean that he's like not going to get deep with us. Absolutely. I mean, he's got just as many layers as Yoongi does. But I feel like it's going to be definitely in the direction of like, let's all come together for a minute and let's celebrate what we do have. And so, yeah, I'm so super curious. And the thing is too, is that even the visuals for the concert that you guys have all seen, I mean, what does that say to you? The stark, the blacks and the reds, and how his name and the whole title was very sharp. It had a lot of sharp edges, but it also was like layered on top of each other. And like, I'm like, is that a hint? Like, or is that just like, it looked cool? I don't think with BTS it just looked cool. I think there's going to be something in there. And I think he's going to take us on a journey. It's like, so, you know, what's the video where he's driving and he's taking us through the neighborhood? What's the video? Why am I blanking on this? Where he's driving. Ego.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that's my ego. Yeah. So I feel like the concert is going to be, I'm taking you through the journey. Yoongi's was, I'm peeling back the layers of the psyche. J-Hope's going to be like, I'm taking you through from the streets all the way through my dance, my story, everything.
And I think what we've seen from his performances from Lollapalooza and, you know, Mama 2022 and his recent gala performance, I think we're going to see quite a combination of him being by himself on stage, him not dancing with a stupid amount of choreo going around him, and him dancing all out with the backup dancers. I think it was very poignant when Jack in the Box came out that he did not dance in any of the performances or the music videos for that song. He didn't dance. He had dancers around him, especially in the Mama performance, but he personally he walked. I mean, he walked with swagger, and he was definitely walking with a choreographed style of purpose.
He was walking with the choreographed style of purpose. I fucking love that. The man just doesn't walk.
The man doesn't just walk. He walks with swagger and style and an intentional purpose. He walks to the beat of the sounds around him. But I think we're going to see that combination quite a lot in the actual tour. I think we're going to get the heavily choreographed numbers and the numbers where he just stands on stage and doesn't dance because that's part of his journey.
Right. Yeah. Katie, what do you think?
Well, I was going to say, going back to what Christina said about the promo, it's very dramatic. So there's nothing soft, and although there is the bright red, which could harken back to maybe some of the Hope World time. The black and red is usually seen as kind of a darker and angrier combo. So I'm kind of curious. It could be both. It could be the red is the one side and the black is the other side, or it could be the combo. But yeah, like she said, it was angular. It was, whereas some of his prior promos, there was softness to it a little bit. This did not have any of that. And also he's wearing this dramatic black outfit. It looked like, I don't know if it was like a really big jacket or like a trench coat or something. Like it was real interesting.
Yeah. No, you think about Hope World, that whole album cover, even the letters are rounded. Everything in that world, in Hope World, is all rounded, soft edges.
It's like psychedelic Dr. Seuss.
Yeah. And I didn't get that with that. But you know what? That's part of the fun with these guys. You know, you show up and you just get ready to get your freaking socks blown off. You know you're going to leave happy. You just don't know what kind of journey.
I don't know what I'm going to get. It's going to be a good show.
Do you think
Yep.
that, I think there's that part of me that believes that towards the end of the concert, especially, that's when I feel like we're going to get like the mic drop and whatever. That's going to be like reminder that here we go. You guys have made it through this part. And now we're all going to get ready to come back together. And I think it's going to be like the launching into now, you know, I can't wait.
I think whatever he's releasing on what appears to be March 7th, based on some of the teasers and stuff they've given us. But I think whatever he's releasing, the new Dream, I think it will set a tone for the concert that we don't know yet, because we don't know what this is. We don't know what this is that's coming out.
Is some of it going to be in the concerts that are in Seoul before that date? So
that's what I was wondering, yeah.
Well, and it's pretty typical for them to have at least one pre-release track if it's a new album. So we'll probably have at least, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm curious. I'm really curious about that, because it seems like it's a mistake, but I don't think it is. I think it's very intentionally planned. So.
Yeah.
I was wondering if it also meant it's a more English album because it's releasing after he's already done the Soul thing. And he did it in the States. So
You know
I
what?
don't know.
He has a really cool way, though. I love his raps where he just sort of kind of like melds back and forth between Korean and English really easily. And I think that's really cool because he ends up rhyming, but they're in two different languages, but he still makes it rhyme. And so I don't know. It just, I don't know. Gosh, I wish I don't know. The anticipation is fun, but I'm also like, I'm also like,
give it to me now.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, what is
There
it
was
gonna
part of
be?
me, and I saw somebody talking about it in the Discord, and I got their point, which they were like, "Are you going to watch the live stream, or are you going to wait to be surprised in person?" And I'm like, you know, well, I already spent $150, so I guess I'm going to watch the live stream. But I can also see the advantage and the excitement of waiting and just being surprised in person. You know,
I mean,
But
I
also-
get it. I get it.
But also, if a lot of the theories running around that there may be a month later, like finale back in Seoul, much like what happened with D-Day tour, if those come true, I could see the concerts being vastly different based on whatever it is that's coming out on March 7th. So like that's also inside the realm of possibility that he gives us like a different concert before his release and after his release, and then does a later, like the finale kind of thing post tour where he gives the one he did after the release as more of his style.
You know, you bring up a good point, though. I in my mind would much rather be surprised, but here's the problem. That concert footage is going to be everywhere. I will have to completely stay off of every social media possible in order to avoid spoilers. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that, because if I do that, then I don't get to kind of have fun with the excitement of it. Like, I want to see the entire timeline freaking talking about how awesome J-Hope is. Like, that's fun. That's just super fun for me. But it's going to be full of spoilers. So
yeah. So for me, I'm the type of person who, while watching a movie, will go to the wiki page and read the plot line of the movie I'm actively watching.
My husband gets so mad at me.
I don't fucking like surprises. I want to know who I'm supposed to hate and who I'm supposed to love while I'm watching it, so that I don't come to the end and be like, my heart.
And if I even try to open my mouth, Gordon's like, because he hates spoilers.
Listen, I want, if somebody has seen it before, I want them to commentary in my ear the whole fucking movie, what's happening. See, that's my personality, though. So I am absolutely.
I'm the same way. It's like, does this have a happy ending or a sad ending? And then that way I can prepare myself for the whole thing.
Yeah, I need to be emotionally prepared for the ending.
Well,
so
and
I will the fuck be reading the plot line during the movie.
Right. Well, and let's be for real. Like, you could watch all the concerts you want online, but being there, it's just a different.
It's gonna hit different. Plus, Plus, you'll know what parts you actually want to have your phone out for versus, you know, I'm not the kind of person who will have my phone out the whole time. I'm just fucking not, because I want to experience that concert. But there may be portions of that concert that I'm going to want on my phone. And if I watch it beforehand, I know what parts to be basically ready for, to pull out my phone and take the videos that I may want.
Dang it. I was really leaning the other way, but y'all got kind of convincing me to just watch it. Because I'm like, I hate surprises too, man.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I'm just going to say right now, I'm going on record, Doc, you're going to be sitting right next to me or standing right next to me at a concert. But when he says, I'm your hope, you're my hope, I'm J-Hope, the first time, I'm going to absolutely burst into tears.
You're going to lose it.
That's when we flip the camera around backwards.
You guys are going to be hitting each other, grabbing each other, hitting each other. Oh my God, he's coming
at each other the whole concert. Like, oh my God, he did it. He did it in person.
I love this for you guys.
Stephanie and I are going to have bruised arms and shells and dead. We're just, the four of us are going to have bruised arms by the end. Just an FYI, just know. Like,
Barbara sent another diaper moment for Steph.
Yes, Barbara, another diaper moment.
I'm gonna get to work. Listen, I'm gonna get to work. I'm gonna get to work on Thursday, and I'm gonna have to wear long sleeves under my scrubs. Otherwise, they're gonna see the bruises running up my arm. I have Ehlers-Danlos. I bruise really fucking easy. Listen, I'm gonna have to cover them shits when I go to work.
They're gonna be like,
what the fuck happened over this concert?
Did J-Hope concert have a mosh pit? Yeah. Like, why are you all bruised up?
Listen, I had actual chairs. We were in the back row. We were out of control. It's fine. Don't worry, they're friends that battered and abused me during the concert. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll all be fine.
Worth it. Hashtag worth it.
Well, you know what, just a general feeling too is that he knew that this is the last stretch of time before they all return. He knew that we would cling to anything they gave us. And he was like, listen, I'm going to do y'all a real big solid. I'm going to come and see you in person, and we're going to party, and you're going to make it to June. And it's going to be okay. Yeah. And I love that it's him. You know, I would love if it was any of them. Right. But I love that it's J-Hope that's going to take us through the last 4 months until.
Well, he is our hope for the next chapter.
He is. He is. He's like, listen, hope is kind of my thing. So if it's going to be anybody, it's going to be me.
It's going to be me.
I think it's excessively poignant that this is the man who began chapter 2, and this is the man who will end chapter 2.
Yes.
And I think that is extremely poignant. He's our hope. You know, the fact that he kicked off the solos, and he will end the solos, because this concert will go right up until Festa of 2025. And I think that is very, very poignant. It says everything you need to know about J-Hope and who he is. That he was like, no, I'll do it first so that the rest of you can relax. So that I will do it first. I will stress out. I will do, I will freak out. I will figure out. I will walk this pathway first. And then I will bring Army home to you guys at the end. And, that says everything you need to know.
Freaking hell, man. We need to end the live right now.
I was going to say, we got to do announcements anyway.
We ain't getting any better than that.
No, we're not.
And you know what? To be fair, letting Doc have the last word on Hobie's birthday live seems apropos.
Perfect.
Seems perfect. So there we go. There's our happy birthday, J-Hope, Hose Brewery.
Hosebruary.
Sorry, I'm from Michigan. I have a Midwest accent. Yeah. So hopefully, you all, anybody who needed to get or wanted to get tickets, got them too. So, but if not, we're here. Come to the Discord, chat with us about it. Should we do reminders?
Yeah. Quick
Okay, I'm already talking. So, Yeah, quick announcements. For those of you that are into voting, streaming, charting, we have a channel in the Discord that I maintain, as well as a webpage where we talk about the current goals for stuff. And for example, the LV bag song that's going to be released on the 21st. We have some streaming goals for that. So if that's your thing, come on into the Discord channel. You'll get voting reminders, and people bring all the different goals from all over the social medias, all over the internets, and put it into one place for us. And so, yeah, come and hang out in that channel if that's your thing. Let's see. Can we, somebody who wrote this, did somebody write this in here? Can we explain how the
Katie did.
Weverse?
I wrote it. So there's a lot of questions in the chat on how does the Weverse streaming concert work.
Okay. So meaning like when people buy it? Or...
Yeah, I think there was confusion in the way it was verbiaged, because I know a lot of people had confusion prior to purchasing it in the way it was verbiaged.
I can try to answer.
You answer that one.
Okay.
Also, before I get into that, quick announcement, because I know some people peace out early if they've heard some of these before. The blog is going to be a little bit late. Quince contacted us during the live. She is violently not feeling well. So more information to come. We will give her what time she needs to recover. So please do not anticipate an email at midnight tonight. We will get it as soon as we can. Let's send Quince our best wishes. And anyway, back to the streaming. So there's 3 concert dates in Seoul. You can either buy each one of them separately to watch, or you can buy just one, or you can buy a pack of all 3. And each one comes with 2 viewings. You can view it live and you can view a replay, but the replay is at a specific time. So there's a chart if you go where you can see, based on your availability, what you want to do. It's a little confusing. The thing that tripped me up is that it says global membership exclusive. Apparently all the memberships are called global membership, but then it's global membership US, anyway. I only have a US membership and it let me put it in my cart. So don't let that put you off if you only have a US membership. Does that answer the question as to streaming? So when you purchase it, from what I could tell, you'll get a link. The link is perhaps not actually on Weverse. They might be doing it through a third party, but you'll get a link. You'll click the link. You'll be able to stream it.
Yeah. If you have the Weverse on the app on your smart TV, as long as you're logged in on the same account that you use to purchase the concert streaming, you should be able to play it on your TV, smart TV, using the Weverse app. So. But yeah, I think the big confusion was the way they verbiaged it. Some people were wondering if U.S. membership was allowed to buy it, but I know multiple people who have purchased it with the U.S. membership. Their card always, membership card, no matter if you're U.S., Japan, or global, it always says Global Army membership on.
Army is the global fan club, and within the global fan club, there's global U.S. and Japan versions. Are you confused yet? I'm confused. But
yeah, it's nice and confusing. Just, but no matter your membership, you have to have a membership to purchase, as far as I know. But, put it in your cart and you'll be able to buy it.
Yeah. And if you have more questions and you're in the Discord, we're happy to help. There's tons of people in the Discord that can help you out if you're having troubles.
Riven, if it's anything, I'm reading Riven's comment here. If it's anything like the other ones, I've watched every concert on my television through the Weverse app. But I have a Samsung television, so maybe that's why I'm able to. But I watched Yoongi, and then Golden, and then Jen, and then all of them on that.
I knew people who watched Yoongi on their smart TV with the paid thing. It's just how smart is your TV?
Mine is not that smart.
Right.
How smart.
Yeah.
The TV has to be smarter than Hobie when he's listening to Run BTS Rules.
Jacqueline, double check when you go to the Weverse shops. Some of them you have to have a membership. Some of them you don't. That's a little confusing as well. But there's like a little tag that says like global exclusive, which means membership exclusive. Yeah. But yeah, the important thing to remember is every concert you view, you get 2 dates. You get the day it happens, which for those of us in the U.S. is mostly in the middle of the night. And then some of the replays are at more convenient North America times.
Yeah, it's the multi-view version is the one that you have to be a member for.
Yeah.
So
it's clear as mud.
You can buy single view version if you're not a member, but you have to have a membership to get the 4 view version. Then you can click between what you're seeing.
clear as
it's
mud.
all kinds of clarity.
I was like, it's like they sat down and tried to make it as complex as possible.
Now we've had this question a lot because of the way the concert is being streamed. We as a project will not be streaming it in the Discord because of we will not be having a streaming party for the Hope on the Stage concert stream because of the way they're streaming it. So anyways, so I just thought I'd put that out there because we always get questions on whether we're streaming things because we stream a lot of things. This particular, because of the way it's being streamed, we didn't stream Yoongi's VOD. We won't be streaming this.
Yeah,
so,
we don't ever stream
it's
when it's competing with something you can pay for live.
Right.
We may, like, I know we watched Yoongi's D-Day concert like a week or two ago. Sometimes we do it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we'll do things later, but not while it's an active, open.
Yeah, we're not going to take money out of his pocket when he's actively doing,
Yeah, we want J-Hope to continue being dripped in Louis Vuitton.
I was just going to say, how do you you need to keep J-Hope in the finest of silk, sir.
No,
Exactly.
He deserves the finest of
how many
silk.
wears do you get out of those little slippers? Like, come on, those are not very functional shoes.
No.
Have you seen his
Listen,
shoe closet? There's not enough shoes in there. Come on, please.
No, he needs more. Listen, I've said it before. I buy from thrift stores so that J-Hope can be dripped in Louis Vuitton and Dior and all.
This is fair.
It's like sacrificing for your children. You just wear thrift store finds so they can wear, the nicest stuff.
That's right.
All right, so blog week 58, The Beat of Destiny is out now. And like we mentioned before, week 59 is going to be called Gotta See the Other Side. And it will be released here. So normally those go up at midnight Eastern tonight. But because Lisa is not feeling very well, we are going to delay that until we can have our editing team meeting for that. Our next live as a project is going to be Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for our midweek tea, where we bring you the member news for the week and we talk about any shenanigans that took place out on Kim Namjoon's internets.
Oh, the shenanigans.
So come join us for the midweek tea. There have been shenanigans, so there's going to be a lot to talk about on Wednesday.
Shenanigans have tooketh place.
Shenanigans have been
Kim
afoot.
Namjoon's internet.
Kim Namjoon's internet needs to calm down.
Oh my gosh.
Certain segments of the internet have reached a new low.
A new low.
Every time you think you find a floor, there's a trap door.
Every time I just think, what now? And then I'm like, oh, that's new. Okay. And sometimes it's even us. Sometimes even we make our rounds around.
I was gonna say I haven't checked us this week.
Yeah, every once in a while we check our mentions to see if anybody's saying anything. And you know what?
I'm knocking on wood. So far,
sometimes we're pleasantly surprised, and somebody says, "Hey, you know what? The blog is really cool that these projects are doing." I'm like, "Thank you. It is really cool."
By the way, we see a couple of you recommending us on Reddit, and we appreciate it.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
Every once in a while, somebody makes a comment and recommends us to somebody, and somebody sends me the link, and I'm like, "Hi!" And I try to go in and be like, "Hi, it's us." Thanks.
That's so nice.
We do have a Reddit account. We don't do much with it, but it's
for all of you that watch consistently, and even if it's your first time watching, and you even just tell one other person about it, like, we appreciate that so much because that's really cool.
Aww. I just searched us on Twitter to see if anyone was shit talking us again, and I found a really sweet post from somebody reaching out to somebody else saying, "Hi, I found you on the map. Would you like to be friends?"
Oh, that's adorable.
I know. She's from Ostuni. I don't know where that is.
That's adorable.
Where is this?
Yes.
Keep it up with stuff like that. We're gonna make Steph cry again.
I know. Don't do it. Don't.
There you go.
Sponsored by Kleenex.
Can't handle it.
All right.
Our live.
Thanks everybody for coming.
Hey, Kleenex, reach out to us. we
love
should
you.
get our screenshot before we go.
Oh.
Totally
You look
unprompted, by the
cute.
way. We're driving yesterday, and my daughter turns to me and she's like, I can do a hand heart. I've never done it for her before. I don't know if she learned this. She's basically doing this, but she's trying. Bless her.
Aw,
Bless her.
that's
Anyway.
cute.
All right.
That's
thanks,
cute.
everybody. Good night.
Good
All
night,
right.
everybody. Love
Bye,
ya.
everybody. Love you. Love you.